Well, I'm Steve Tharinger from the 24th Legislative District, representing Jefferson, Clallam, and Grace Harbor County. And we're here to talk to you a little bit about the budget as we get closer to the end of the session. We're spending a lot of time looking at budgets. We talked last time about the transportation budget, so we're going to talk a little bit more about the capital budget and also the operating budget.
Let's start with the capital budget. The House has released its proposal, and there are several projects in Clallam, Jefferson, and Grace Harbor County that receive funding on this proposal. Can you talk a little about those projects and the importance to the community?
Yes, I think we did quite well actually in the 24th District. Within the Public Works Assistance Fund, there's a sewer project in Carlsberg for the Clallam County PUD, which is a low-interest loan for $10 million to help that sewer project. One of the projects is a wastewater treatment plant for Pacific Beach, and they've got a couple other projects for the city of Port Townsend. And then there's one down in Grace Harbor, which is another stormwater project. So those I think are important. Within the community college capital budget, there's $2 million for Peninsula College to do the remodel. And that's very important to get that building remodeled for classrooms so that we'll be able to expand that Fort Worden campus for educational purposes. Then there's a number of projects throughout the district for the Heritage Fund. Two of the projects within the Heritage funding is the Schooner Martha and the Lady Washington. Those are heritage projects that have, I think, real value in education and also maintaining our maritime heritage, which is important to the district. And then there's one for the Jefferson County Courthouse in Port Townsend and the Polson Museum in Grace Harbor. So I think overall the district did pretty well in the capital budget.
The House also released its long-awaited operating budget, and it manages to preserve some key services that had been on the chopping block. Can you talk a little about those?
Yeah, basic health is preserved, there's a disability lifeline that is preserved, and those were not in the Republican budget. And then there's also some Medicare bridge funding that's important to the hospitals for us in the rural communities. So I think that's important, and I think levy equalization, of course, is a huge piece for a rural district like the 24th. I think there's only one school district in the 24th district that does not receive levy equalization funding.
Of course, the House proposal also includes some deep cuts to programs and services in order to help close a $5.1 billion shortfall. What are some of the things that lawmakers have had to cut or reduce in order to balance the budget?
Yeah, a couple of areas, and I think folks need to remember that this is probably the second iteration of this budget in a draft, and there's a lot of work that goes on. But right now, certainly higher education is being impacted, so tuition's going to go up, and that'll impact a lot of folks as they try to access Washington University or the University of Washington. So those are some challenges. Some of the basic health issues, I mean, that was cut back. Some of the, I think, long-term care, which is a very important service for the 24th district because our demographic is older. We're probably, have about twice as many folks that are depending on these services than I think other districts around the state. So that cut in long-term care and benefits for long-term care workers, I think, is going to be a challenge as we move forward.
With a little over 2 weeks left to go in the regular 2011 session, what's left to be done in order to finish on time?
Well, there's the budget, which is actually a bill, and then there's a number of ancillary bills that are necessary to implement the budget. So I think the House will finish up most of its policy bills in the next couple days, and then we'll probably be voting on our budget on Saturday, and then the remaining time that will be down here will be focused on the budget and the bills that are necessary to implement the budget.
So the next time we talk to you, there should be more news.
Well, next time we talk, we'll hopefully have a budget, and I think people have their fingers crossed, hoping that we'll get out of here on time, which is the last, I think the 24th of April. It's a challenge to get out by then, but we're hopeful. So thank you, and if you have any questions on the budget or any of these other issues, don't hesitate to contact my office here in Olympia.